Hey, what's up, you guys? Bloody Jacob here to talk about the new Netflix original series, Daredevil. And I'm sure you guys have been hearing about it. Netflix just released all 13 episodes of the first season on Netflix, of course. And yeah, I was able to check out the first episode of the show last night, Into the Ring. And wow, I have to say, I was really impressed by it. Just like almost everyone else is. The show's gotten great reviews so far, and rightfully so from what I've seen so far. Now, to get this out of the way right away, I actually am one of the very few who like the Ben Affleck Daredevil movie. You know, kill me, but shoot me, whatever you want to do. But I actually found enjoyment out of that movie. But as far as this one goes, I can tell it's probably going to be superior to that. Not because I outright hated the Affleck version, it's because I feel like this one's more true to the comics. It's even more grounded, dark, and just all around, so far, a better looking representation of the character when it comes down to it. But, so I have no, hate against the original Ben Affleck movie, but this one just really impressed me within the first quarter of the episode. I was already pretty much sold on it. And I'm just going to talk about the first episode in general here, and I'm not going to review it episode by episode as I watch it, but once I finish Season 1, I will probably do a general review on the final episode of Season 1, as well as like my thoughts on the show as a whole at the end of the season when I'm through it. That will be a little while yet, as I have to go back to school tomorrow after spring. I have to go back to school on Monday after spring break. I'm also still trying to watch The Vampire Diaries and stuff like that. But once I do finish, I expect another review to pop up. And yeah, Charlie Cox is playing Matt Murdock in this. And I like how they don't entirely focus on the origin story, entirely. They obviously show flashes of it. You know, we know the story of his father, the Murdock the boxer and stuff like that, and how he was eventually killed, because of the kingpin and stuff like that. But, I'm sure they're going to show that little by little. And, we see, a really powerful scene, where he's during that fight scene at the end, towards the end of the episode. It's a really powerful moment when we see him, getting back up, and then we're also seeing, the flashback of, them talking about how he'd take all these hits, but he'd always keep going, he'd always get back up, he'd never, stay down. And, so he really show, how much heart and determination and willpower is in the character. And so that was one of my favorite moments of the episode, hence why I have it as the thumbnail. And so Charlie Cox plays Matt Murdock really well. And, he has, the calm, bantering humor, as Matt Murdock. He's the regular lawyer during the day. And then, of course, he has this, he really sells himself as to what he is at night as the Daredevil as well. And I like his relationship with Foggy Nelson, his partner, at law, pretty much. With their lawyer work and stuff like that. And Foggy Nelson, they kind of have two different views on how to handle their job. Matt wants to find the truth, and whoever's telling the truth, that's who they're really going to pick up on. He wants to know for sure. He wants to really make sure they're doing the right thing with it. And Foggy, he's just going strictly by the rule book. He's not looking for any gray area. He's not looking for any sort of complications with it. Just by the book. If he has been convicted, then he's innocent no matter what, right? And so, it's going to be interesting to see, with them having sort of, completely different ideologies as far as, how they handle, their work and how they sort of read people. And Foggy appears to be decent at his job as well, but of course, he has more sort of corrupt side to him as well. And I haven't read as many comic books as I would have liked to, so I don't know that much about the character in the comics. I'm sorry, don't attack me for it. But I do like the Daredevil as a character, and so I was really interested in watching this show. So I'm excited to see where they go with Foggy as a character long term. I think the guy who plays him is, fairly entertaining. And I also really like Deborah Ann Wall as Karen Page, Matt and Foggy's first client in the show. And we find out she's wrapped up in, excuse me for a second. That's what happens when you're on other sites when you're trying to record a video, I apologize. But, her character is a part of this company. And, she sort of discovers this corruption going on, and she saves this file into a hard drive, and they're trying to kill her for it towards the beginning of the episode. We see, her, basically being framed for murder, pretty much. The guy she met at a bar, she worked with, who she said he was a nice guy, so, they had some drinks, and they went back to their place, and then because she told him about the corruption within the company and what they're doing, he was killed, and then Matt sort of questions why they didn't just kill her right away and things like that. And I'm not gonna get into detail by detail this episode, but the fight scenes in the show are really, really cool. They're really realistic and they really feel grounded. It's sort of like, you don't see Matt Murdock or Daredevil, busting out these, super Matrix moves or, anything like that. He's really highly trained. We can see he knows, he's far above the average human as far as, his combat style goes. But yet, he can still be hit, he can still be hurt, he's not invincible, he's not, Superman, he's not even like Arrow or anything like that. So it's a lot more gritty and real when it comes to how the fights are. And despite it being like that, the fights are still really above average compared to any TV show I've seen. And they're really, really cool to watch. And so I've heard about quite a few other good fight scenes as the season goes on. And I also like how they teased Wilson Fisk in the premiere as well. They never actually show him, but of course we see his men sort of working for him, going to the deals for him and sort of talking for him and stuff like that. Because Fisk doesn't want to be shown publicly or have any chance of being shown to be involved in the underworld, the criminal underworld and stuff like that. That he is the kingpin. I apologize for my stuttering in this video, by the way. I wasn't really planning on doing a video, but once I seen this episode, I had to talk about it. And if you guys didn't know, I'm a big comic book fan as well. I'm a superhero fan, okay? Like I said, I don't read that many comics, not nearly as much as I should. I might just have a small box full of them, but nonetheless, I was still really interested in watching this, and I have to say, this is probably the best comic book related show I've ever seen, even with just watching one episode. I watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. for a while. I watched all of Season 1, I watched a decent amount of Season 2, but I'm weeks, or I'm episodes and episodes behind on that right now. And this is just on a completely different level. It's so much better. The acting, the tone of it all, the atmosphere is really brilliant. The writing is really good on this. And just in general, it's even Gotham. I still watch Gotham at this point because I'm a huge Batman fan as well. But even this is just completely a different discussion in general. And, there's really nothing else like it on TV, and I'm excited to see what they do with the Luke Cage TV series and Iron Fist and Jessica Jones and stuff like that. And that Defenders crossover series will be interesting too. Like I said, I do like Deborah Ann Wall as Karen Page, and I'm kind of eager to see where her character goes. Again, I haven't read that many comic books, so I'm just going based off of the show here. And I know who Daredevil is, I know where his story, I know what kind of character he is and stuff like that, so I'm not completely unfamiliar to, what it should be and stuff like that. Don't think that, I'm not going into it blind, but I'm just saying I haven't, read, every issue, or, I'm not, knowledgeable enough to go after me for little details I might not be aware of, or things like that. But, I'm excited to see where Deborah's character goes. goes in the series, and obviously she's going to be a bit of a love interest for Matt. And I really like her as an actress. I know she was Jessica or Jessie on True Blood. I watched like one episode of True Blood. I didn't really like it personally, but I was pretty entertained by her character. I mean, I didn't get that far into it to where she appeared, but I did see clips around the show, and she seemed to be pretty good on that. And I really like her acting performance in the first episode. She shows emotion really well and very clearly. And yeah, I kind of am for her and Matt already at this point. And her Foggy and Matt having dinner at the end was pretty nice. And with her sort of like volunteering to work with them, as like gratitude for helping her out of the case and proving she was innocent. And I also like how they have Matt able to hear the heartbeat. We as an audience can hear the heartbeat moving faster or slower. Slower if they're likely telling the truth, or faster if they're in a lie. So I like that part of it as well. There's just a hell of a lot to talk about even with one episode. And as far as the costume goes, I'm not one of those who's gonna really hate on it. I know some people are against the all black stuff, but that's kind of where it starts off, even in the comic books. And eventually we are gonna see that red suit, with the devil's horns, of course, at some point. Of course they already released images of that, and the suit does really look cool, and I can't wait to see it in action towards the end of the season, I'm guessing. And I think this is pretty cool for now. And black suit is, and so I'm excited to see the evolution of his costume as the series goes on as well. I'm expecting a hell of a lot from this as I go on. I'm really eager to continue the show, and I definitely recommend checking it out if you're a comic book fan, if you like TV shows like this, even though it's completely unlike anything else I've ever had on TV related to comic books. So yeah, I definitely think it's worth checking out, even if you're not that into comic books. If you just want to see a good action drama type of show that's fairly good, dark quality with a good atmosphere and tone, check it out for sure. And I know this isn't the most in-depth review. I know I missed some details of the episode here and there, but I also like how Kingpin sort of like maneuvers and gets his work done like so strategically. Like people being killed in jail and stuff like that, and the guy who they had working with him, the father of the that showed the daughter at the park and stuff like that. They were threatening his daughter, how he was killed at the end and stuff like that. Just really maniacal and masterful. And, I know we're going to see the evolution of his character into the Kingpin as well. And I'm excited to see as him and Daredevil sort of eventually cross paths a little more directly, so that should be pretty intense. I'm definitely looking forward to where the season I'm definitely looking forward to where the season goes. So, please no spoilers if you've already watched further than episode 1, of course. And, yeah, so I'm really into the show, man. I mean, I was getting myself into a Game of Thrones mood, for, obviously tomorrow night, Season 5 starts of Game of Thrones, which I am still looking forward to. Expect a review of that by Monday. But, so I was getting myself psyched up watching all these Game of Thrones, tribute videos on YouTube, but then I am able to access Netflix, and I get into this Daredevil show, and it's hard to think about anything else right now related to TV or any kind of series like that right now. So I'm kind of fighting which mood to be in, like a Daredevil type of mood, a Game of Thrones type of mood. I'm still trying to catch up on the Vampire Diaries as well in season 4, so I'm still pretty into that too. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna hopefully watch more of the show fairly soon. And within a couple weeks, I'll have another review up of the season in general once I finish it. The only downside to these Netflix shows is, yes, they release all the episodes at once of Daredevil, but, that's good for people that binge watch, but I sort of like to spread it out a little bit more, because once they're done with it, then they have to wait, like, over another year, like at least another year or so before they can see season 2, because they still have to work on that, and that probably won't come out until around the same time next year. And so it's a really big wait, so I'm kind of, trying to go through it little by little, episode by episode, not like sitting down and watching like 5 or all of them all at once or something like that. So I'm trying to space it out a little bit more, but still expect a review of the later part of the season and the final episode, the season finale in general. Expect that once I catch up with it within a couple or a few weeks or so. But yeah, overall, I really, really like the first episode, Into the Ring. It was really impressive. I was thinking it was going to be pretty good, but this exceeded what I was expecting. So yeah, I'd definitely check it out if you're at all interested. I think it's definitely worth a look for anyone. Even my girlfriend liked it, and she's not that into the superhero stuff. Unless it's, of course, like raw and gritty, a little bit darker, a little more emotional, with a little bit more complexity to it. You know, like Daredevil, like, you know, Punisher characters and stuff like that. But even she's kind of interested in this, and that's a plus as well. So yeah, definitely check it out. I'm really enjoying it. Can't wait to get into more of it. And yeah, I'll catch you guys next time, most likely for my Season 5 premiere review of Game of Thrones by Monday. And yeah, catch you guys next time. And peace. I'm not seeking forgiveness for what I've done. I'm seeking forgiveness for what I'm about to do. And that was really epic. That whole opening scene, you know, with him at the confessional was really cool as well. I really like Charlie Cox's performance so far. You know, as both sides of the character. So yeah. Yeah, anyway, peace. I could go on about the show, I apologize.